All right, guys, this is going to be my initial review. Having the Ring car cam for a couple of days. Let me just tell you my experience. I do have experience with many dash cams. I have experience with a few LTE dash cams. When I say a few, Cam and Nexar 1, which is, they are both LTE. And now this one. Oh, man, where do I begin? All right, so Cam, all right, I'm not going to compare the three. I'm just going to talk about the pros and cons for the Ring Cam. Now, the pro, it's if you have Ring devices, it's going to fall into the same app. So it's universal. Keep it all in one little ecosystem, right? Easy to view. Go to timeline is easy. And the subscription is actually not bad. Again, this is not a comparison video, but when you compare it to the Cam, $15 a month, it's for $6.99 a month. Maybe they have it cheaper every year. I don't know if it's like $60 a year, but it's $6.99 a month. Well, things could change depending on when you watched this video. So it's relatively cheap. It's not bad for a subscription. It's the cheapest of the three. If you want to compare, again, not comparing, but I'm comparing, right? And the video quality, oh man, how can I? For LTE dash cam, I would probably go ahead and say, oh man, all right. So it's better than Nexar 1, even though Nexar 1 claims to be 4K. I feel like it is better than than the Cam. Although Cam appears to be better. It's hard to compare the two. Cam is 1440p, which is less than the 4K, but still display better quality, in my opinion. It depends. I feel like with LTE service, I feel like the Ring is handling it better than if you're in a bad area with the Cam. Okay, so the video is not bad. It's decent. It's 1080p, but it's decent 1080p, for a dash cam. So I'm going to put that in the pro. It could be better. I'm going to put that in the pro. It's small. It's smaller than the Cam. Smaller than the, than the other ones. So it's small. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Now, let's go on the cons. All right, so where do I begin with the cons? All right, so it doesn't appear to have local storage. You can't connect to it directly like you can with the Cam, even though Cam give you issues with that. You can't connect to it directly, so the only way to connect to it is through LTE service. Now, I'm not sure how that works if you're in a bad coverage area, because I know Cam bad coverage area, it kind of like the video's still on board and you can still recover it. Where if you're in a bad service area, let's say you're in a dead zone, would it record video? I don't know. That I haven't yet to see yet. All right. So now I'm used to Ring devices, and with the Ring devices, you could kind of go into the history. When there's a motion, you kind of see a little bit before the person comes into the camera. So you get the whole event for the most part. We have the option to set it, for however minutes anywhere from 15 seconds to 2 minutes. You could set it, and the drives are sort of like that, where you could do the drives, you can see the drives, and it goes into the next drive. But here's the thing: there's no way to say, for example, if you on the other videos, I'll give you an example. If you say okay presto, it'll say approximately 15 seconds before and 15 seconds after, approximately. So if something happens, you're like, in this process, you're like, oh yeah, okay presto, you still capture what happened 15 seconds before you say those words, and then 15 seconds after. What I noticed with this is that if you say the Alexa, and you say record, then it's like, it would only My Alexa device went off. It will only capture after you said it. And I noticed one clip, it wasn't even in the clip that I attended. So when I said those words, it was in a regular drive that you hear me say those words, and then the one after, you don't even hear me say those words, and it was recorded after the fact. So once you finish saying those words, it may record part of you saying the words, and that after that. So basically, whatever you want to capture that already happened. If someone cut you off, or if there was an incident that happened, it won't save in that very clip. So, they gave an example of if you're getting pulled over by the police. So something like that, I guess it makes more sense, because if you're getting pulled over, I'm getting pulled over, you say those words, record, then it'll record 20 minutes from that point on. So it makes sense in that point. And sometimes 20 minutes may not even be enough, depending on the situation. So I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, yes, it's good for that, but they should have a second word, say, capture this or whatever, and have it, okay, one for car stops, 20 minutes long, but you don't need 20 minutes if you're going to capture a quick clip. Just, save the video or something, say her name, and then save clip. And then maybe that would just record maybe 15 seconds before, 15 seconds after, or 30 seconds before, 30 seconds after. Let give you that option. And then you'll be able to, when you say save clip, that 15 or 30 seconds before and 15, 30 seconds after, it'll give you basically either a 30-second full clip or a minute full clip, depending how many before and after. And then that 1 minute clip, you could easily just download. How simple is that? And it'll show you manual save or whatever you want to call it. And then you see it on the timeline, saved clip. And then you just click on the clip and download it from there. So Alexa was somehow loaded to the cloud, which I'm going to get to my next point, loaded to the cloud right away. So like that specifically that video that you set save clip for. Everything else, you don't have to load it to the cloud right away. But because what's happening is this: once you park the car, even on the highest setting, which they say if you drive every day, that basically the battery's been running, I noticed that the car just turned off after an hour. The car cam turns off after an hour. So then if anything happens to your car parked, but when you park it, you basically got an hour, and then you get back in your car. If not, then if you park at work and you park down somewhere, you forget about it. It's going to turn off. So at least for that, that's another issue. But I want to finish off what I was saying. If you say Alexa save clip, then it'll save the clip, and it'll be in your timeline. It'll load to the cloud pretty much almost right away. Let it load, whatever time frame. But by the time you're done with that drive, you go to the app. It should be there already loaded, uploaded. Even if the car turns off, and you're like, oh, I forgot to get the clip. You go back to the clip. It's uploaded to the cloud, and it's saved. So you can pull that clip and download it just like you can with any other Ring devices. So that's one. Now, and then have the car, whatever, if you've been pulled over or whatever, have that for that, and keep that separate phrase for that. Now if you want, even Amazon could say, hey, with the name, save short clip or save long clip, and then let that be the phrase for either 30 second or just have it manually where you decide, if I say save clip, let it whatever you preset. You get 30 seconds before, 30 seconds after, or 15 seconds before, 15 seconds after. I think that would be a huge, huge plus. And all this could be done with software updates, so it's not anything that it can't do. Unfortunately, it doesn't have an internal battery. That's hardware. So again, if it's connected to the ODB port, which it is, it's no brainer that it wouldn't matter if it doesn't have a battery. So okay, fine. I don't think the Outcam has a battery either. I think it's connected through same thing. So they just need to do better with keeping it on, while when the car is off, a little bit longer than an hour, especially if you have it on the long setting. Well, I mean, I could imagine the short setting, it turns off right away. So I get they want to conserve battery life. They don't want that to be an issue where it's draining the battery, but 1 hour after is not enough. I mean, Outcam has a thing where it's up to 72 hours. So, 72 hours, it's pretty decent. Even if you have it 24 hours from last year's, I'll be okay with that. But 48 is ideal. 72 is perfect. Anything after that, I get it. Turn it off. You're not using the car as much. But if you're going somewhere, if you're going to work, that 24 to 48 hours is be just fine. If they could manage to pull 72, that's even better. So, that's pretty much it. I also wish that when you save a clip, kind of like Outcam does, you say okay presto, and then a little bit of silence, and then you could speak out how you want to save that clip. So let's say I say her name, I said save video, and then it saves video, and then it gives me an option to put a phrase and save video, and I'll say like, oh, car cut me off or something, I don't know. Or funny person, whatever it is, it'll kind of like save, sort of understand what you're saying, and save that in the timeline as a tag. But that's not a big deal. It's just, that'll be nice, because this is what Outcam has, and they basically competing with Outcam and XR1. And even though those two cameras have their own separate issue that I spoke about have spoken about already, but RingCam, if they could fix these little software fixes, I think they'll be in a good path. And they're definitely doing good on the universal part. They're doing good on the quality is pretty decent, not bad, and the price point is really awesome for the monthly service. And even the price for the dash camera is not too bad. When I got it, it was $199, but now it's $250, I believe, and who knows what it will be by the time you're watching this video. But yeah, hopefully, Ring, Car Cam, people who's on that team, maybe they'll watch this video or other videos like it, and they could take our suggestions. Maybe I'll give them a call and see if they could take my suggestions over the phone, and just, it's just help them out, because this is going to be like, you get this camera for this reason. You want to make sure that, especially if you got the camera LTE specifically to, if someone does break into the car and they do damage and they take the camera, then that means your video won't be uploaded, so you won't have a incident recorded and it will not to save. So they need to have it where if your car is parked and it's always going to be on, remember, not on after an hour, I'm talking about stay on. If someone breaks in the car, it's gonna alert, it's gonna record the video, upload it to the cloud, and then you have that video. So if they break it, they need to do it to a point where if they know the car is there, the camera's there, I'm sorry, and then they break in it and unplug it or pull it right away, that it's enough where that could get uploaded to the cloud. I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but with that being said, I'm gonna leave it off here. This is my initial review, and if anything changes, I'll definitely do update videos. I'll try my best to, at least. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, take care.